Okay, so we are here. We are about to make our pattern. And the first thing I like to do is make just two lines, one horizontal, one vertical, just so we have some straight lines to go off of. So we're both going to do that now.
Now Malcolm would put his right at the end of the paper, and I started in the middle. So I'm gonna put mine like he did, because this is a copy lesson right here. He is showing me something extremely new. I've never made a pattern before. I've never made a. Oh,
I was just going to say to you.
okay.
At the end of the day, if it don't work, at least we tried.
We tried it and we tried again. That's right.
Yeah. So we have our straight lines. Now we're going to make our body. So for you, since it's 50 overall, you would take that and divide it by 4, which is
50 divided by 4 is what? 50 and a half, that's 25. Half of 25 is 14 and a half.
something like.
Yeah, 14 and a half.
Yeah.
14 and a half.
Yep.
There we go. Listen, I did that thing, y'all. Y'all better get it together. 14 and a half.
As we continue, if you do decide you might want to add like elastic to the bottom, we can probably do that too.
Gotcha.
But that's also something like you have to take account for within the body. So let's say the zipper is 26 inches, and your neck, your funnel neck is like 3 inches. So that's now 23 inches that you have to work with, and then the elastic is another inch. So now you're taking away another inch. So that's 22 inches, right?
22 inches.
So that's like just something to think about because it'll kind of affect.
Y'all hear this guy? He threw them numbers out there so smooth. Like,
Hopefully, I think so.
good. I'm hopefully they hear it
Hopefully.
too. Because this is fun for me. I'm just trying to let you know.
Okay.
I'm excited.
So yeah, I would. You should do another like up here, and then you're gonna make
that line down.
Yep.
Gotcha.
I've turned up the volume. So
Gotcha. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I
Good.
can hear you. And
Okay.
I think you can hear me a little better. So sorry if I'm yelling in y'all ears, man.
Right. We're trying to do this
We're
thing.
figuring it out.
We figuring it out. Nothing but a lesson today. Nothing but trials.
I like to write like my numbers on the pattern too.
Gotcha.
So I use 13 inches, so I just write 13 inches on the waist.
14 and a half.
Yep. Just so when you go
14
back,
and a half.
Yeah.
Cool.
When you go back, you don't have to remeasure and everything.
Yeah.
We didn't grab our zippers yet. Yeah, so let's do that now.
Do you measure from the head of the zipper, or do you measure this part too?
No, just from the
head of the zipper?
Because
Okay.
like this point
So
here.
this is 24.
Yeah, this point here would be like at the top, and,
Gotcha.
then these tails
Fold
will
down.
fold. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, mine will be a little cropped.
I think mine will as well. I mean, it's gonna be there, but this is
Yeah.
where we're going. This is what we're gonna do. This is how
Yeah.
we're gonna roll with it.
First, we're going to determine how long we want our neck to be, because that will determine how long our body is. So you know how long.
So
you
for
want.
me, I don't like really thick necks.
Yeah.
So
Or really long.
really long
Yeah,
necks.
yeah.
So the shorter,
Yeah,
the better for me.
it would just be like 2 inches or something.
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And so what you would do is take the overall length, number of the zip, and then minus it by 2 inches.
So I got 24 inches here for the zipper, top to bottom. Minus it by 2 inches. So now
22.
make it 22.
And so that's what you would mark on your pattern is go up 22 inches and then
Go up 22 inches and then
make a sheet.
22 inches. Okay, 22 inches here.
Okay, so yeah, then you make that line. If I didn't explain it properly, it's when you're determining the length of your jacket, and you want to add a neck on it, you take the length of the zipper, and then you subtract the length of your neck, and then also the length of your waistband if you're adding that. So then you will get your number for your body. And so that's what we're doing now.
Yeah, I see what you're saying now.
Okay, so next we're gonna make our neck opening,
Gotcha.
which typically the French curve ruler would come in handy here. But since we do not have one, since I've done a lot of necks, I kind of think I know what more or less it's supposed to look like. Let me see.
Y'all saw how he just did that real smooth like. Y'all see how he did that real smooth like.
I think going over 3 3/4 from our middle line here,
Mm-hmm.
a wide enough opening.
Yeah.
Um,
3 3/4.
yeah, over 3 3/4 from this middle line, and then just like make a straight line. Really, it's just then now making the curve of the front of our neck. I think like 6 inches. Maybe go for you 6.5.
Which way?
Okay, so I'm sorry. So yeah, we made our straight line. So now it's like, it's gonna be like this.
Gotcha.
From here to here, it'd be like 6.5. You know what I mean?
Okay, you said 6.5.
I mean, really, if you just want to like draw that curve in.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna do like you said 6.5, so I was gonna do a straight curve, straight line, and then try
to connect. Okay. I would say come
deeper. Gotcha.
Yep.
Yeah, I marked those out, and then we're gonna use this one
So from this, so where's the 6.5?
right here.
Okay. Okay, folks, we got our French curves, so crisis averted.
Right.
And I mean, yeah, more or less.
You see how perfect he is? Y'all saw that? You saw how perfect he is? Okay, so which way do I do this? Flip it?
Yeah.
Okay.
And yeah, like that.
Like this. Okay. 5, 6.5. Right here. Right there. Okay. Yep.
Our back
Okay.
neckline. And so for this, I go up from our line here. And the main thing is to make sure you're not going too high up, because what I found in the past is when I go too high up, you end up just having extra fabric up here that sort of just bunches and looks sort of sloppy. 3 1/4 is probably high enough. Yeah, 3 1/4 for you. Maybe go 3 3/8, or go 3.5.
3.5. Okay.
But you said this was where?
That's 6.
This right here. What is this?
3.5.
Or no, I'm saying like what? Like this is a 6.5, right?
Yes. That's the first one. This curve
Yeah.
that blended up to 6.5.
Can you remeasure that?
Yeah. Oh dang, that's 5. My bad.
Oh no, I just meant like what, like the overall length of that. Like measure that curve. Because I think that might be longer.
Oh yeah, that's 6 right here, and then we still got, so it's almost 7.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, we're gonna need to
Shorten that. Got you. So if we connect here, let me make sure it goes from here to here. 6, right?
Or it can, wherever 6.5 is, like when this curve.
Let me measure this one more time to make sure. So that's 6.5. I was short. My bad.
Okay, on the 6.5. So yeah, pretty much like.
So from this corner.
Yeah. So from our. Right. Yeah. So from this point here, it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.5.
And then you want me to do 3.5.
Yeah.
That's right here.
Yeah. So
And that's for the back.
Yeah. So you would just make and then go over like.
Gotcha.
And then make that. So now you would make that curve from our. For me, it'd be my 6 1/4. For you, 6.5, and then curve it into that line we just created. You know what I mean?
So we're going to go from this point where we just marked here.
From this point.
Oh, this point.
To this middle point here, you would
Gotcha.
make that curve. It's let me see. It would be for you.
1, 2, 3, 4. I'll put that back right
Oh, wait, let me.
there. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I would say 4 because it's.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'll round up. And did you need like any explanation on the?
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
So, for my explanation is, once we measured from this line from the zipper, this is our zipper line.
What he's saying is like this point here
Right,
will
this
be
point.
where the zipper doesn't end,
Right.
but this is where the neck starts. So
Mhm.
you know the zipper would go into the
Right.
neck,
And then we're coming up
mm-hmm.
6.5 inches,
Mm-hmm.
because that's more of a common.
Like this is the curve is 6.5 inches, which should be enough to comfortably have your neck in.
Right. Okay. And then that was for the front, basically.
Mhm.
And then the back curve
Mhm.
is a little bit shorter.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. That's what I want to make sure. Okay.
Yeah. Because like I mean I don't think I can like explain like anatomy that well, but it's like you know our front is wider than our back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's what that should look like.
Okay.
And then now we're gonna do our shoulder,
Mm-hmm.
and to do that, it's pretty much gonna be from our point here. So you would measure. Oh.
Got it.
Ooh.
Got it. Listen, guys. It's all a learning experience, okay? Learning experience.
Okay, we're back, and where we left off was the shoulder.
Yep.
So, so from our line here, we're gonna measure up from where our point is. It's about 4 1/4.
Up to this point, I'm at 4.5.
Okay. So from this line, we're gonna go down. I found like 2.5 inches, 3 inches works best for most of the garments that I've made. And this is, creating the slope of our shoulder. I would say 2.5.
I did 2.5.
And then we're gonna make that new line there.
Hey y'all, I just want y'all to know right now, I've never used fractions in most of the days of my life until this point. So it's starting to pay off a little bit.
So now from our point here of our neck, we will determine how long we want our sleeve to be, or our shoulder to be. For you, it was about, I think 6 inches, maybe 6.5 would work pretty well.
I'm gonna do 6 because I have to make this universal. You know why I gotta make it universal? Because if Amanda likes it, she's taking it.
I'm gonna go 7. I'm gonna drop it a little bit, and the farther you take your shoulder, the farther the drop is, so to speak. So, 6 inches is where your shoulder and like your arm, separate, whatever.
Right.
So the longer you take it, pretty much the longer you take your shoulder, the less sleeve cap you need to have.
Gotcha.
If that
No,
makes,
I see. I know what you're saying.
because you have to account for like the more shoulder you have, the less sleeve you should need, more or less.
And y'all know what?
I
I know this is just the first one, so I don't have to dive into every detail of the correct method, I could say, but I'm going to make it a little longer because y'all know me and these sleeves. I'm working on them. So, like he said, so we're going to go 7 as well. You know what I'm saying? Hey.
Okay, so now that we have our shoulder, we can make our armhole. And for the armhole, I would say typically around. Well, it depends on like what material you're using, how much like batting you're gonna put in there, because that just accounts for how much space and room you'll have.
And then don't forget, we doing the zipper.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah.
okay.
And yeah, so for your armhole will be a little different since we're adding the zip.
Yep, we got 2 right here. So everything on this one is actually 24. The
24?
front zipper,
Yeah.
and the arm zippers.
12 inches as well. Have a. Oh.
Did I do it the wrong way?
Yeah. See where that.
Oh, it should have been this way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Got you. To the best. Let me take that line out. Make sure I get that measurement right. There. And it goes this way, ladies and gentlemen. Inches that way. Okay.
Okay, so we have our front and our back. Now we can do our seam allowance. 3/8 seam allowance all the way around. Neck, front, shoulder. Also 3/8 seam allowance on our front here too to account for our zipper.
Y'all see how he did that without even measuring it, really? He just eyeballing it.
You can like start a new line.
Gotcha.
And then we're gonna do our sleeve.
And then we're gonna do our sleeves. So exciting, y'all.
Okay, so now I typically just go over whatever my armhole was, which is 12 inches. So from that line I go over 12. So now we have that, we're going to determine how long we want it to be. I'm going to make mine real long, 26 and a half.
Dang. Now 24, was that at the wrist?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, we're gonna go a little longer then.
Okay, so from our line here, now we're going to do the whole sleeve cap situation. So we're going to determine how long we want our sleeve cap to be. Now since how I'm gonna try to explain it is like this side is like this is where our body ends, right? So with the shoulder, if the shoulder was all the way to the end of the body, you wouldn't need that much sleeve cap, because it's already taking over like part of this. It's now taking over part of the sleeve, if that makes sense. So for the sleeve cap, since this is sort of a little a shorter shoulder, we can make the sleeve cap a little longer without making it look like militant, you know what I mean? So I would go between like 4 and 4.5. From this line here, I would go down like 4 inches and then make that new line. Now we're gonna make that curve shape of the sleeve. And so for this, I don't know the best way to explain it. When I'm making my curve, I'm just determining how far I need to go. So when I switch it to make the rest of the curve, it is at a point that meets this line. So our arm opening is 12 inches. And I'll typically I'll make the curve this way like 10 inches, right? And then the rest of it, the 2 inches, will be that dip, which I don't know if that's like the most accurate, because like how I view it is like this curve here is what like this part is what this part is, and then that part is what that part is.
Exactly.
So I never really like determined how far up that actually needs to be, but when I've done sleeves in the past, it's always like fit well with me doing like the way I'm about to do it now. So I never really question it until it stops making sense.
What's that point? You went 3 inches? No, that's not 3 inches. This point here.
Oh no, this point, this isn't anything. This is just like this line is what we're trying to meet. So we're pretty much going from this point to like this point, or this line, 12 inches.
Gotcha.
So I'm going from this 5-inch marker right here, and I'm determining that from 5 to 15 is 10 inches, and so I'm gonna curve it down to our line, marking there, and then I'm finishing it off
curve.
with the 2 inches, like that. It's like the majority of the curve curves like downward, and then it takes that.
All right. So we're going to go 10 inches. 5, that's 15.
And so yeah, like this point here, you want to make sure it's high enough that when you pivot this ruler and then make the rest of it,
It can connect to this corner.
Yeah.
Got you.
So I'll say you could drop it down.
Right. Right about right there. Let's see. Then we.
Oh no. Yep. Yeah, because essentially what you're doing is doing this, and then you.
Got you.
So yeah, you would have to drop it down because that's more than 2 inches. Right?
Gotcha. Okay. Oh yeah. No, I get what you're saying now. Because this sleeve is still going to come in this way.
Yeah. Yep.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Okay.
And so now you can determine how long you want your hem, your bottom hem.
Gotcha. Mine's is I'm gonna do mine's a little bit at 10. Honest, no, 9.5. That'd be a diff.
I would say.
So that's like, if I do 9.5.
Well, you don't want it too tight.
Too tight. That's too tight.
So I would say, for you, maybe go 6.5.
6.5.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, because that's 12 right there.
Yeah.
Well, 13 gives you plenty of room to get in and out.
Yeah, because
Gotcha.
with the
13.
batting
Yep,
and everything.
That's cool. And then we just actually bring that point to here.
Yeah, you just connect those lines. Any other questions so far?
So far, no. I'm enjoying the opportunity to navigate through this. So like this is pretty cool. It's opening my eyes to some other things that I might be considering in the future.
Okay, so now we can do our
front, back sleeve. Ooh, look at that.
Our neck.
Our neck.
Again, like I said, to do that, we would add up our front and our back, and times it by 2 or do.
I got 10.5.
Mm-hmm.
So times 2, that's 21.
Mm-hmm. So we're only gonna make half of our neck, so you can. So pretty much it is the 10.5 that you would make, and then since you said you wanted your neck to be 2 inches, you would do 10.5 by 2 inches.
10.5 by 2 inches. And this is just a straight line.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and it's gonna be 10. It's gonna be 4 inches actually, because we're going to fold the neck over, right?
Gotcha.
So yeah, do 4. And this is actually one of the reasons I was afraid of doing the videos, is because like my explanation on things, like certain things I just learned throughout my processes, and I just haven't dived deeper into like why it is what it is. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
So it's just like I just go based off of like my experience and what I've done before, and then do mark 2 inches, like that middle line in between. Just so you know, that's where the zipper, like the end of the zipper, or the top of the zipper is going to be. So we're going to do something that I haven't done before, but I want to try. So, like this line here is where the top of our neck will be, right?
Right.
And so because like this is a little smaller than the base of our neck, I want to come in a little bit. Because in the past when I've made this kind of neck, like, because it's like this, it goes straight up, the neck goes straight up, right? And it doesn't actually come in
contours
and fit to, you know what I mean?
So you want to bring this side.
It's going to be like this side, so we're going to go like that.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Mhm,
So you don't have to, but I'm gonna, because I really am curious to see if that.
Works.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fine.
I think I'm gonna go over, cause necks aren't that big. I'm gonna go over an inch.
And are you gonna curve it, or are you gonna
It's gonna be a straight line. So
straight line it?
okay, now I think we should do the liner, and for our body, we can use the same for our liner. And so with that, this is where our zipper ends, and I typically have my liner like an inch up above that. Okay, and it's the same. Well, the sleeve, you would have to make a new sleeve
Make a new
for
sleeve.
the for the liner.
Now, for the sleeve, we can do elastic.
Okay, so then we don't need to bring that liner up, and then we can use the same sleeve for that, and then so we would just make our cuffs, like the piece for our cuffs then. But yeah, right now, like the main, if that's what you're asking, like the main thing is like for like a YouTube educational.
Just all selling, so it's like pattern making. So
Yeah. So it's gonna be
Just
pattern
come up with a
making and the
design.
construction.
He asked me, like, Charles, what did I want to make? I was like, oh, I'm always down for that puffer jacket. You know what I'm saying? With removable sleeves. He's like, well, that might be an all-day project, Charles, but okay, we can do it. So
Okay, let's get back to this. So for the pockets,
pockets.
Yeah, so I've been like doing like real cool. Like,
what we're gonna
I
do
really enjoy,
first
like, the work that I've been
is
doing now. Like, I'm coming up with
we can figure out what we want our arm opening, what we want our pocket opening to be. Typically, I would say between 6.5 and like 7 inches is like the most, because you gotta think, I mean, most people don't shove their hands
Right.
like this, so it's kind of like that. So around like I said, 6.5 inches is like a good armhole opening. But before we actually make like that opening, it needs to be like the actual pocket. So with 6.5 being the opening, we want an inch on each side. So that would be 8.5. Yeah. So you would do 8.5 by whatever you want your length of your pocket to be, and that's more or less determined on the width of your body.
Oh, ain't got nothing to do.
Yeah, with your body. So it's like so like the length would be, for me, could be like 9 inches, because you want your pocket opening to be not too far to the side, because then when you go to put your hands in your pocket,
You're reaching too far
Yeah,
back.
exactly.
Gotcha.
Yeah, 18 is the length, and then it's over 8.5 if you want to do a 6.5 pocket opening, or 9 inches if you want to do 7. I think you should do 7.
Yeah.
So it'll be 9 by 18.
Mine's a little different than yours. So this is the inch down.
This is a box, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, you need to go over an inch from this line.
Oh, both sides.
Yeah,
Oh, both
yep,
sides.
yep.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
Okay, so now from our new line here, you pretty much just want to determine how, I don't want to say thick, but how wide that welt will be. There's 2 ways you can do this welt pocket. And so with like, when you do like 3/8 and 3/8, you can fold one side over and then the other side over, so that would give you your 3/8, or you can just take that whole both of the 3/8, which would be 3/4 total, and just make one welt.
I can't wait to put this together, because then that's just what's going to show me what we're doing.
What exactly? Yeah. So what we're doing now is just setting in our lines for, most puffer jackets have that line sewn into the jacket to give it the puffer effect. And I feel like this is like the easiest way to do it. So what we're gonna do is transfer our lines onto our pattern, and then transfer those lines onto our fabric, and then we're going to make a straight line on the fabric to then sew that line before we put the batting on, because then after we do that line work, we can just add the batting and know that that line is straight, and we don't have to determine anything like that. And so I think that's like the easiest way to do it. And when I'm doing this, it's always best to go off of like a straight line. That's why we are either going off of our bottom line or the middle seam, our middle line here. So yeah, guys, what we're doing now is just, you know, putting in our lines. I have 3 on my body and 3 on my sleeve. It really just depends on what you want to do and what your design is calling for. If you want to add more lines, that could be cool. No lines is also cool. I've done kind of like a curved line before, which is sort of cool. Again, whatever your design calls for. But yeah, and as you can see, Charles is doing vertical lines, so that'll be interesting.
My sleeve has a little, like it's angled on the sleeves a little bit. To give it, hopefully it gives it the appearance of the sleeve coming together.
Okay, guys, I think we're done with our pattern making.
What?
Hopefully you guys have stuck around this long. Now it's gonna start to get fun, hopefully. So we're gonna cut. Well, Charles has already cut his out. I'm gonna cut mine out, and then we're going to start transferring. We're gonna cut out our pattern, and then we're gonna start cutting out of our fabric, and then we're gonna start transferring our lines and everything like that.